Hello everybody, it is I, Calaxin here, and today we are doing a Calaxin Investigates. The last time we did one of these was in January because I got busy and then I got lazy and then, you know, stuff happened. So we haven't done one of these in a long time, but now, KH-V has gotten some new moderators and some new KH news, so obviously, you know, you gotta get get your head in the game. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna take the trailer that came out step by step, because, I watched it already, and it was really fast, and there's lots of, like, symbolism and cool stuff. So, and if any of you guys know me, I'm all about symbolism and cool stuff. Okay, so let's get started. I'll probably put in some of my own music here. Well, let's just skip to the part where there's actual scene. Alright, so you have a nice little scene here of Sora, Kairi, and Riku playing on the island. And this is a really weird shot, and I don't know why they did this. But they're all playing in the water. I mean, they're cute. Like, I like how they've been animated. And then, obviously, you see Sora, and that's, like, baby Sora. And Sora always has this thing with, like, kind of falling into the water. But Aqua is at the bottom, all the stars are lit up, and you kind of see Aqua in the Wayfinder here, which is obviously important because I guess this is kind of her start, like, the start of her adventure, and then, in a second, she begins to fall, and that's kind of when, yeah, that's kind of when she falls into darkness, like, at the end of Birth by Sleep, when she kind of sacrifices herself to get Terra out, and, you know, she's falling and all that. The graphics are great, like, they improved a lot, since we last saw them, and you guys will see there are a few comparison shots out there already of scenes that we've already seen before, from the old trailer, the new trailer, this stuff, so that was obviously, whoa, even this is too fast. They picked a really weird remix of Simple and Clean here, and because of that, things are just, things are going, like, really fast. This is the introduction to 3D. You see them, the Mark and Mastery, then that's Neku, Quasimodo. Okay, let me just tell you, I don't like the Hunchback of Notre Dame world that's in 3D. I have feelings, okay? And it's interesting that they used primarily that one more than any of the other ones, because that one is probably, in my opinion, the worst one. And it's not, story-wise, it's not the worst. It has a pretty good story. The world has a pretty good story, but Esmeralda and Phoebus's voice acting, and I could go on for the voice acting in Kingdom Hearts forever, there are just problems with how lines are delivered sometimes, and it's just, it's frustrating. And so that's my favorite Disney movie, and so that makes me angry. But we're not talking about that, we're talking about the trailer. This is all kind of stuff that we've seen before, dream drop distance kind of things. But here, I think, around here it starts to kind of change back. Yeah, so this is the screen. Oh, it went away, alright. Good job, okay. So, see, this is the screen that we saw before. Obviously, Riku's hair looks a lot different, if you guys can see that. Like, Mickey's cheeks don't look as sunken anymore. Like, there's definitely a big improvement, and, like, look at those biceps on Riku right there. I mean, those are, you know, and I'm just saying, anyway. And Kairi's face is more covered, which I think is interesting, because in the past when they've hid Kairi's face, it's always been kind of intentional. Like, in the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 1, while she was telling Sora she didn't remember anything, obviously we know that she lied, but there was this, I guess, camera angle that's used in Japanese film and anime, like the cut that Kairi has where her eyes aren't showing and it's just her mouth moving. Like, obviously that's not the cut there, but they cover Kairi's face a lot, just in the series to get kind of shots like that, that I guess the American audience didn't really understand until things like, I don't want to say things like Tumblr, but things like, you know, forums got more popular and stuff like that, because then you kind of communicate back and forth and realize that the games have some symbolism that we may not yet understand, kind of like Sora bowing in Kingdom Hearts 2. But anyway, we're gonna continue with Aqua. I can't actually tell where this is. It looks like it could be inside, it could be one of the towns, and I can't tell what's in the reflection of her eyes either. There's something that she's looking at, but I can't really make out what it is. I think that this would be in Cinderella's town. Or it's inside of the Dwarf Woodland Cottage, but I'm not really sure. This is one of the gears, if you guys see that. We know from the demo that in the game that they showed before, you need to hit 5 of these gears to make the clock turn backwards to get the bridge to go up. And yeah, it's great. Anyway, this is Cinderella's castle. We saw this already. Now this scene is very interesting. If you guys didn't see that, she's looking over someone in Snow White's coffin, and you kind of see it's Ventus. This is interesting because a couple of people have pointed out that the 3 worlds that they chose at the beginning of Birth by Sleep kind of represent the characters, and this kind of, I guess for this one, it fits either way, but they say that Snow White is like Ventus because he fell into a deep sleep, or Snow White was in a deep sleep. Terra was shown to be possessed in Maleficent's world, which is ultimately kind of what happened to him. And Aqua, I actually don't think the Snow White one is entirely correct, but Aqua, like Cinderella, left something behind, basically comparing their fate to all of the princesses, but there's also a different theory that Maleficent caused all of their fates to change, which fits more, because I think the original theory was comparing them to the princesses. Aqua was Cinderella, Terra was actually Snow White because he got tricked into something, like biting the poison apple, and Ventus was compared to Sleeping Beauty, because, he's asleep. But I think that with kind of how they ended up, their fate, or how Maleficent or the villains kind of foreshadowed their fate, you have Aqua as Cinderella, because Cinderella did kind of leave something behind, and I guess that still fits with Aqua because she left her entire world behind, and also her armor and her life, basically. Then Ven fell asleep like Snow White, and right now, Terra is actually kind of asleep like Sleeping Beauty, which is kind of where this, not the theory falls apart, but where you insert the fact that Maleficent possessed him, and that possession is foreshadowing what actually happened to him. So I guess you could mix 2 of the theories together, and then this explains kind of where Aqua sees everyone where they do. And if we're getting real technical about it, Aqua sees Terra in Cinderella's world, so maybe it's Terra that left something behind. Aqua is in this deep sleep for 1,000 years, and then Ventus is also in this sleep, but it's kind of a different one, because Snow White was poisoned, Ven's heart was fractured. Aqua is also sort of under a spell, but it's a spell that she put herself under, which is more like Sleeping Beauty, I guess. So if you want to be real technical about it, Terra is Cinderella, and there are pictures of Terra in a Cinderella dress online somewhere, probably. So there you go. I didn't want to get so ranty with that. This area is the Queen's Castle. Aqua looks really nice in here. I'm glad the environments for KH 2.8 and KH3 are getting better. If we can get back to, this is Daybreak Town. This is obviously Ira confronting who we think is the Master of Masters, but we know that there's 2 people in a black coat, and I haven't differentiated. I haven't been able to tell the difference between the 2 yet. Sorry. Alright, so, this is the Masters of Masters talking, to them, obviously. This area kind of looks like the place where Xehanort and Ericus were playing chess, especially this chair situation, like this kind of table chair book thing. Like, this place looks familiar, but I know that it's in Daybreak Town, so I'm not sure. This is Charthy, and if we know how Charthy was born, it looks like in the Japanese version of Chi that he was in a test tube, and then he was born, and so that might be something interesting to kind of consider, because now he looks like he's in sort of a bubble. I guess then it's not a test tube, but still how Dream Eaters are born, because Charthy is a Dream Eater. That stuff is interesting. This is, oh boy. This is the scene where, Amphimere, or Amphimera, whichever game that you played before they changed it, is talking to Ava about the book, but that didn't happen. I like how they're covering their faces too in some of the shots. Like the water's covering his eyes, it's covering Charthy's eyes. They changed Ira's like unicorn thing to red, which made him look really evil, and I don't know if it's a red herring. Anyway, but it's interesting nonetheless. Their graphics look much better. This is Xehanort's Keyblade by the look of it, being held by one of the Masters of Masters, or one of the Master of Masters, one of the guys in the black coat. And I haven't been able to see if there's a difference yet. Obviously that Ava running that we just saw is from the trailer. This fight was from the trailer that we saw before. Now, hold on for a minute. I wish I could make this go slower. I guess I could. Okay, so this kind of beam thing is the Wayfinder. I guess that's just a rainbow off the Wayfinder. The Wayfinder's twirling, and then there's Aqua. And the Wayfinder falls into Aqua's hands, and that's kind of important because this mirrors the scene from Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep where they're all standing and with the Wayfinders, but this time both of the Wayfinders fall and then Aqua also falls. And here it seems like she's seeing both of their reflections in a mirror where the Wayfinder landed. Right, these are the people that I guess she remembers. Terra's Wayfinder went from orange to yellow, which I thought was just interesting to mention. But Aqua is obviously reaching for both of her friends here, and they're both flying away. This kind of mimics the Birth by Sleep trailer again, but in a minute, you'll see that it's very odd. Now, this scene is important because it only happens for a split second, but if you see what happened here, it goes to Ventus, and the Wayfinder spins, and then you see the chairs that signify the 13 darknesses of the organization, right? And you see two hearts, and both of those hearts, obviously, one of them's Xehanort, and they're all sitting in the chair. So these are all of the hearts that I guess are in there right now, and there's 3 of them coming from this. There is 3. But there's one that lands there, so I don't think that it's like, oh, all 3 of them are gonna become dark by the end. I don't think that's what's happening. I think that both of them are gonna be one of the 13 darknesses, because then you'll quickly see in this scene, Aqua runs to both Terra and Ventus, and they're both, I guess, the evil versions of themselves. Because in a minute, they'll turn around. Obviously, Terra is Terranort. Actually, what Keyblade is he holding? I can't tell. Hold on. I'll need to go back. I think that, yes, that's Xehanort's Keyblade, and that's the X-Blade. Obviously, this is Ventus possessed by Vanitas, and then Terranort here. And the fact that I think the fact that the chairs were shown, and then they're shown right after being evil, I think that shows that maybe they'll be compromised in some way, that somebody will find Ventus before they find Ventus, and that's how Ventus gets in there, because we kind of more or less figured that Terranort was going to be there, but I think that the fact that Ventus is here too is interesting, and that they both basically just stabbed Aqua. This is a really nice scene. This is what I want as my screensaver right now. And obviously you have the Keyblade Graveyard. That's Aqua's Keyblade down there, the Master Key. I think that's Terra's. On that side, and I guess Ventus is just not in the shot, but I thought that was an interesting shot to kind of have, is that their original Keyblades, the Master Keyblade, and then kind of who they are now, and Aqua is kind of left defenseless in that moment, even though there are Keyblades surrounding her. Alright, so we're back to 3D now, which doesn't really have any symbolic things in it, just, I don't know, Quasimodo and, you know, whatever else. So we see some gameplay for 3D, which is nice, but I don't really care about. Not that I don't care. The gameplay looks better. It looks like it's gonna work on the PS4. That's gonna be nice, not gonna lie. I think we can put the trailer at, I'm gonna mute it so we don't get any, like, weird sound, but I'm gonna put it at 05 speed so we can, just take a look. Also, I don't remember, remember outside of Jensen's Tower being a location, but now I think I do. I think it's for Symphony of Sorcery or whatever. So we see Aqua running up here again. Can't really tell where she is as of right now, but she's, oh yeah, she's seeing Ven. So this is in Dwarf Woodlands. He's in the coffin like Snow White. Aqua saw Snow White. So this could be a PTSD thing or like, you know, a symbolism thing. Now this is probably the best part of the trailer, in my opinion, is that when Aqua sees herself in the reflection of the mirror, and the mirror actually talks to her and says that her heart is full of darkness, but no, Aqua says that her heart is strong in all of these things. But the mirror really seems to get to her. Now, I think this is interesting because Aqua has kind of been hallucinating this entire time, like she's kind of going crazy, and so I think this is kind of a battle with her, like, inner demon, sort of, in a way. Like, this is a battle with the darkness inside her, and also what the mirror signifies in-game is, you know, like, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all, and then she sees herself back, so that could also signify that maybe, either like the queen, she sees, I guess, like the evil queen, I mean, like, she sees someone that is challenging her to be the best, or it could be Snow White kind of looking back at her that she is the best. She is the best of all of the Keyblade Masters, and she's gonna fucking save our ass. Alright, so this kind of mirrors the scene from Kingdom Hearts 1 where Riku grabs out to the darkness to bring Sora into the darkness. There's that hand reach that you see in a lot of the Kingdom Hearts beginnings, I guess. I don't want to say beginnings, but like in trailers and things like that. So Aqua puts her hand out, and obviously she doesn't take it, but she does summon the Keyblade, and so I'm pretty sure that we're gonna have to fight Mirror Aqua, and that's only more signified. That's only more clear in some of the scenes that follow after this one. This is where she's saying that her heart is strong and everything, I think. I don't really remember exactly the line, but it was very good. My only complaint is that Aqua's hand is, like, really big compared to her chest, and, like, it's not that big of an issue, but at the same time, I'm like, proportions, and so her hand is either massive or her chest is really small. But I'm sure they'll fix that if they realize that there might be a problem with showing some female anatomy like that. Anyway, here is one of the Masters of Masters, or it seems to be the Master of Master because of his keychain here. He says something along the lines of, "You think 7 people can save the world?" And he seems to be kind of almost hopeless. Like, he's like, you know, whatever. It's kind of like that mentality of, you know, drink till we die. Anyways, but you know what I mean? He just does not care. Like, he has given up. He's like, I can't stop the end of the world. Like, I don't care. And he's kind of off, you know, by himself. He has this really relaxed attitude, and that's why people probably assume that he's Xigbar. But I haven't listened to his voice enough to decide whether that's true or not. I've had a theory that one of them is Xigbar, or Xehanort, or someone, like, Xehanort sends Xigbar because reasons. Broski says that he should bring up an alliance or something, and she says that the alliances are forbidden, so I guess he wasn't really killing this guy because he's still here, but in the other trailer we saw him almost die. I don't remember what he says in that scene, but I'm pretty sure everybody's just kind of like, yep, the end of the world's happening, it's hopeless. And I think Ava in this scene talks to Envy and asks her, or maybe it comes up later, but she asks her, have you ever thought for a moment that maybe what you're doing is just making it worse? And that's interesting. Now this scene, I think there are pieces of Aqua in here because I see her face in like many different colors. And this is obviously the mine, so those are the diamonds to the mine. But again, it's kind of like Aqua seems to be reflected in some of these pieces, and at the same time, some of them look like other parts of the trailer, if that makes any sense. Like, they could be just colors, but I swear that I see, like, Aqua's face in some of them as well. So here we get kind of a look at Aqua using some of her magic. I I don't know what standing by is, but that must be the command for, like, that triangle thingy, the shot lock. Her magic looks superb. Like, it is crazy good, and I love it. So this is the scene which I was talking about. This is different Mirror Aqua kicking her ass. And this might be actually the final boss of the game, or one of them, because the game's not really that long. But yeah, you see Aqua fighting the mirror version. And this scene is really interesting because she's going through the mirror, right? And then in a second, she's gonna flip upside down by hitting one of the pillars, and I just can't help but think that that is super good game design. Yeah, this is great level design, is that I guess she was upside down, and now she's right side up. Or she's upside down, but she's on the right side because that treasure chest is there. And it always bothers me when they don't open the chest in these trailers. This is where they have the fight. We kind of saw a bit of that from the last playthrough. I don't really remember what they're saying, but it's basically everybody accusing each other and being, like, super mean, because that's what happened with the foretellers. This is where Ava says, did you think for a minute that maybe you doing something is making things worse? Which, I guess is kind of true, but it's also, if this book is destiny, then they can't physically stop themselves from making it worse. Like, even if they try, them trying not to make it worse is still gonna make it worse. I think that's kind of what I understand from this timeline. This guy is holding the Xehanort Keyblade. This guy is who they think, one of them sounds like Xigbar, and I'll listen to it a bit more, but I did think about it for a while and I kind of agree that one of them does sound that way a lot. Okay, so this one holding Xehanort's Keyblade is the Master of Masters, which means that this is either Xehanort or this is Xehanort's Master, because we saw in the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer that that Keyblade was up on a wall, so Xehanort must have took it. So that could be Xehanort's Master, or it could be Xehanort, but one of them is probably Xehanort or Xigbar or someone from the future in that way. So this is Aqua again. I think she's still falling. Now this is interesting because we're back in the realm of darkness and she says something about giving up. But then Mickey comes and finally finds her. So I think we'll see in the game, but what I'm thinking is that the reason why Mickey didn't come get her right away is because she was basically done and, like, kind of said that she could give into the darkness, and Mickey didn't want to take her out because, you know, she kind of had, if she had given into the darkness, she would have been, like, not as evil as Terra, but, you know, around that. So in this scene, we don't know what world this is yet, but by the thorns and by that pillar in the background, a lot of people are thinking it's the Sleeping Beauty Castle, which would make the most sense because we already saw the other two. There are a lot of Heartless here, and that's probably because of Maleficent, to be perfectly honest. And so all of these Heartless are making this giant ball death thing that's probably gonna destroy us eventually. That's pretty much the end of the trailer. The release date has been moved. It was gonna be December 2016. Now it's the 24th of July, or the 24th of January. Please excuse me. It's gonna be during my exams, so I'm probably gonna shut off the internet for a few days, and then during the weekend after my exams, just lock myself in the basement with Hunter and play it. Play the new ones, and then, you know, everything else. So, those are my thoughts on the trailer. I still think that someone from the future is with the Master of Masters. The Master of Masters needs to be someone in some way kind of related to Xehanort, because he has Xehanort's Keyblade. So it might be Xehanort's Master, or it might be, you know, again, somebody from the future situation. If it's Xigbar, I don't know. But I was thinking it was Xigbar before because of how he was standing and kind of the cocky attitude he had. So it wouldn't be that much of a reach, like, for me. But I guess that we'll have to see. I don't think their identities will be revealed, though, to be honest, in that, in the game. But in Kingdom Hearts 3, obviously, we'll see. And we'll see why Mickey didn't save Aqua the first time he saw her. But I think it has something to do with all of her issues, like her hallucination and her other things. Anyway, guys, this has been kind of a long video to look over a 2-minute thing, but Kingdom Hearts news is hard to come by, and we need to analyze these things because that's important, and I like making fancy symbolism things out of nothing. So, anyway, guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to check out KH-V if you're watching it on YouTube. If you're on KH-V, or even if you're not, remember to reply to the form, I guess, if you have any ideas or want to respond to what I'm saying in the comments or on KH-V. KH-V is obviously a bigger audience, so if you really want to strut your Kingdom Hearts knowledge stuff, then that's the place to do it. Alright, guys, thank you everyone who helped me with this video, and yeah, we'll see you all later. Bye!